Hello guys, SupAri711 here, and welcome back on my Rainbow Six Siege Ravenshield campaign walkthrough. Okay, so Mission 2, Operation called Dagger. The premises are that some terrorists have some IMF delegates and civilians as hostages in the small village of Lamoura, Switzerland. What we know about these terrorists is that they have taken an unknown number of hostages after hitting a local bank. In fact, after assaulting it, they realized that they were basically surrounded by the Swiss police, so they've rounded up several hostages, including both the delegates and some civilians from the village nearby, and fortified their position inside the village. We don't know the exact number of hostages alive, and we don't know who these terrorists are. The only things that we know is that the Swiss police has sealed off the area for us, and that when the assault began, there were at least 5 delegates nearby. Now the terrorists demanded a couple of things, but they seemed to not know that at the beginning the IMF delegates were there. A crazy coincidence that doesn't really explain their presence here in the first place. Since we don't know how many hostages are alive, considering the previous hours, some say 2, maybe 3, and that we don't know who these people are, we don't know how they are equipped, how they are harmed, it's impossible to predict what they're going to do next. They have been in the village for quite some time now, so they will have surely scouted the place and fortified their positions by placing themselves in key strategic areas. We must expect that a lot of hostiles will be around the hostages, and more will be outside patrolling or holding strategic areas. We can also expect the presence of heavy weapons and marksmen around the most likely place where they have placed the hostages, inside the small church in the middle of the village. Regarding our latest action at the Atom Way, it was a complete success. I'm very pleased about that. Despite, some minor damage to the structure and, etc., etc. After a 9-hour standoff, the terrorists were all either killed or captured, without any casualty from Team Rainbow, and all explosive devices have been disarmed successfully. Now we know that Peja Sicic, now resident in Caracas, is accused of playing a part, together with the Ustache regime, in committing several war crimes in Yugoslavia during World War II. Concerning our orders, our objectives, of course, we need to rescue the hostages. Maybe 2, maybe 3, we don't know. And if necessary, if possible, neutralize as many terrorists as we can, as possible. Of course, it's gonna, ease our job. So yeah. Okay, so let's load our plan for today. Okay, you can see that this time I went with a very different formation compared to last time. I went with a 2-2-2 formation. I will tell you later why. This is the operator that I'm going to use, Annika Lofquist, and you can see that I'm going to be again team leader of Red Team, together with Su Won Pak. Sorry for my pronunciation. And this is the rest of the squad. And yeah, so in my team, well, for all teams, since we need to be quite careful with these terrorists, we don't know who they are, which weapons do they have, and where they are, and most importantly, we need to rescue the hostages, so it's important to remain stealth, to remain silent as much as possible. So what I did, of course, is to go with light armor. Light armor offers less armor, of course, but most importantly, less weight, so less noise, and also less impairings to movement. So by wearing the light armor, we are faster, and most importantly, we are quieter. So the perfect choice for stealth, and also to camouflage. For the weapon, I went with the AK-5C. Usually, I don't really use it, although I really like it, because I tend to stay with M4 kind of platforms. I prefer those type of platforms. But at the same time, it's a very good weapon, and especially considering that in this mission, compared to last time, we are going to face also medium, even long range engagements. So close quarter combat is still present, but not as much as the previous mission. I needed a weapon that had good damage, good stopping power, good accuracy, a good rate of fire, and also the range, enough range to be effective at all distances. And the AK-5 is perfect because it's a very easy to use weapon and also very versatile. So it's also very versatile. And in fact, I went with the holographic sight and a suppressor, of course, to enhance its abilities to be ready, ready on target in every situation. For the secondary, I went with the Mark 33 SOCOM because for the stealthier type of missions, it's a great item. It's a great tool to use. It's very quiet with a silencer. I actually think it's amongst the quietest, if not the quietest, pistol in game regarding the suppressor. And at the same time, you have enough stopping power with the 45 ACP FMJ. That you don't really need, a different pistol for this kind of engagement. So it's really it's the perfect weapon, perfect secondary weapon to bring in a mission like this. For the gadgets, actually, I went with a very unique gadget called Earthquake Sensor. This is a very good piece of kit. Essentially, how it works is that it's like a binocular, but instead of just viewing, you're able to see the heartbeat of anyone in front of you. This is a great tool, especially for this mission and in general for stealth, because you're able to see if someone is behind the corner or behind the wall. Another great advantage of bringing the heartbeat sensor is that you're able to see even behind the thick walls of, for example, a stone wall. You're able to see the heartbeat of the other person, which is a thing that, for example, the thermal imaging camera here cannot do. The thermal imaging camera is very good with doors, thin walls, and generally houses in general. And in this kind of environment, there are thick walls, so the heartbeat sensor is better in this case. The only disadvantage is that we are not able to determine if the person behind the wall is either allied, an hostage, or a terrorist. So we actually need a little bit of awareness to use it. For the secondary gadget, I went with the very classic option of smoke grenades. They are very good. You're able to conceal yourself, to move without getting shot at, too much at least. And it was my very first choice for the gadgets. And it's gonna be very useful here because with smoke grenades you're able to move in open areas and be concealed, and in enclosed type of environments. So for example, inside a house, smoke grenades enable you to do stealthier type of entries, so the enemies will have a lot more trouble trying to see you through the smoke while you are assaulting it. So it's a very good secondary gadget. And yeah, so as you can see, I went for pretty much every team with an assault rifle and an SMG, because as I said before, we are going to switch between close range, mid range, and long range. So having one operator with an assault rifle and another operator with an SMG basically covers all fields of engagement. So it's a very it's a type of loadout that enables you to be effective in all types of situations. So for the planning, actually I went with 3 squads because since we are against terrorists that we don't know anything about them essentially. We know that there are 2 hostages at least inside maybe the church, maybe. I need to be in several places simultaneously. So 3 squads is the perfect option because it enables me and my team to work together and cover each other while working together towards the objective. So I'm gonna be red team, as I said. We are going to spawn here and move our way stealthy in a stealthy way south. We are going to try to infiltrate inside this house without being detected because it's better, and also increases our chances of actually arriving to the hostages. So we are going to sneak our way through here, infiltrate, clear the house, and here we are going to give to gold team and green team the Go Code Alpha clearance. Why? Because here there is a window with a terrorist usually that overlooks this area. So as you can imagine, if someone walks down here, they are going to be shot. So we need to clear this room for them. When this room is clear and this building is clear, they can go without a problem. We are going to go down down the ladder, and here we are going to cover this big area here, this long corridor in the open, trying to be as stealthy as possible without being detected and engaged, and basically work our way here at milestone 1, waypoint 1, basically because this building here, as you can see, overlooks the extraction zone for the hostages. So as you can imagine, it's quite, vital that the extraction zone is safe for the hostages and for the operators. So we are going to clear this one and also go up north and clear this building. This is very important because inside it there's a fair chance that there's going to be a sharpshooter that will cover these type of corridors. So as you can see, gold team passing here will be under the fire of the sharpshooter. So we're gonna go here, milestone 2, take care of the sniper, and then go back down here at Go Code Bravo and do together with gold a coordinated entry into the ground floor. We are going to clear this room here, and they are going to sneak their way here and pick up the hostage and kill the enemies here. And then gold team will just proceed and escort the hostage. Instead, we are going to clear this room, as I said, and stop here, stack up here, and wait for Charlie. Regarding the green team, they will stop here together with gold. I will give them the clearance. They will go down here. This is a very dangerous area because there's a kind of tunnel of underpass which is usually frequented by terrorists, so they need to be careful here. Go up here and go inside this building. Another key building is this because there is another sharpshooter here, so they will go inside this building, clear it, throw a smoke grenade to conceal their position against this sniper, go up and stack up at the first floor in this entrance and wait for me, and basically waiting for me. Gold team is kind of the jolly in this plan because they will follow green. As you can see, they will follow green, and instead of entering here, They will go up north, clear this open area, and then wait here for my clearance again, and then go inside this tunnel and clear this key area here where an hostage may be. So after clearing this room, they will pick up eventually the hostage and escort it to safety. In the meantime, when the hostage is safe, me and green team, so red team and green team, with Go Code Charlie, we are going to do a coordinated entry inside this church, which is, you know, the main area where the other hostage may be. And I will go here, go left, clear the ground floor together with my team, and green team will do the same thing but at the first floor. So we are going to go in simultaneously and cover all angles, and hopefully we are going to escort both hostages back alive to their homes. So yeah, let's go. You can see the teams again here. And Nikolofquist, red team. Let's go. Let's do this.
Remember, those hostages are IMF officials, so be extra careful.
Green waiting for Alpha. Gold waiting for Alpha. Hold up!
Holding.
Hostile in. Move out!
I'm on it. Contact. Threat neutralized.
Hostile neutralized. Hostile down.
Tango neutralized. Contact. Threat neutralized.
Alpha, go! Reform on me.
With you, sir.
Green, milestone 1 secured. Hold position. Holding position. Green. Milestone 2 secured.
Gold, milestone 1, secured.
Fall in.
In formation.
Gold, milestone 2, secured.
Green. Move out.
Yes, sir.
Gold waiting for Alpha. Reform on me.
On the way. With you, sir.
Hold up.
Holding.
Move out.
Right away, sir.
Hostile down. Threat neutralized. Threat down. Fall in.
In formation.
Hold position.
Holding position.
Tango down. Reform on me.
With you, sir.
Hostile neutralized. Hold up.
Holding.
Tango down. Hostile down. Alpha, go, go, go! Fall in.
In
Gold,
formation.
waiting for Bravo.
Open and clear. On Zulu.
I'm on it.
Status.
Green, waiting for Charlie.
Gold, waiting for Bravo.
Zulu, go!
Yes, sir. Tango, down. Threat eliminated.
Bravo, go, go! Move out.
Right away, sir.
Gold, escorting hostage.
Reform on me.
With you, sir.
Open and clear. On Zulu.
Yes, sir.
Gold, milestone 3, secured.
Gold, hostage secured.
Charlie, go! Tank, Zulu, go,
Mission
go, go!
completed.
Outstanding. But don't get too comfortable yet.
Clear.